Hi guys, welcome to my channel Edu-Tech. Today I'm going to show you how to deploy ASP.NET Core application as AWS Lambda for different stages and for different environments. So we'll quickly start. This is my AWS account where I have already logged in. There are so many services and features available in AWS, but today we will focus more on API gateway with Lambda function. Definitely, I'm planning to prepare more videos on S3 buckets and Elastic Beanstalk and EC2. So hopefully, I'll try my level best to bring them ASAP. So let's start with Lambda API Gateway. So like you say, like I said, like API Gateway is nothing but a single entry point, and you can execute multiple Lambda function based on your requirement, based on stages, or based on client requirement and through the same API gateway. So first of all, in your solution, if you are working on currently on Visual Studio 2019, you have direct template available to create a direct Lambda function through ASP Visual Studio 2019. But in MacBook, if you have already ASP.NET Core API available with you, existing ASP.NET API, or you can create a new ASP.NET Core API. Right now here I have my own ASP.NET API available here. So you have to add like multiple couple of files over here before deploying this as a Lambda function. So to make this ASP.NET API as a Lambda function, you have to first of all you have to add a serverless template. In serverless template, like you have to copy paste this code. Okay, but here the major changes would be like handler. You have to give your API name, like a name of your API project, and then your API project like exe or DLL name, whichever will be produced by this API. So of course it's now exe. So you have to give like eShopIndia.api, which is my project name, API project name. There are supporting projects also, but this is the main entry point. So here is this, and then you have to say Lambda function and function handler async. Okay. The second most important over here is the policies. In policy, you must give AWS Lambda underscore full access. This is the policy which is required to execute this Lambda function as a through the API gateway, or to invoke this Lambda function from the API gateway. And second, and the third one is API URL. So like your default URL for a particular environment. So by default, if you create this application through a template, I will show you in Windows, if you have Windows and we have Visual Studio 2019 or 2017 also even, if you have installed your AWS toolkit, you will get a provision, you will get the ready-made templates available. You will see the ready-made templates are available to create a ASP.NET API with Lambda function. So now here you have to put like your value as it's a part of like it's a combination of some variables like serverless REST API dot execute dash API dollar AWS in region. It will automatically take the region, whichever region your AWS account is set for. Then slash stage. So whichever stage, by default there is only one stage, which is prod. Okay. So later I'll show you how to create multiple stages also, not from here, but from your AWS account API gateway. So this is one file. Then second file you have to create, since this application was already there and it was not created through AWS Lambda API template. So it was traditional ASP.NET Core API template, which I have used. So I have added these files. So second file which I have added, in fact, is the AWS Lambda tools default. Here you have to give your region. There are so many regions available in AWS. You can see that in account. Then you have profile, which you have created for your access key and secret key. Then bucket name, which will be used to deploy this API. Then template, the template file name. The template file is nothing but serverless.template file name. Then this is my stack name, which will be used to create that Lambda. You can give any name over here. Here also you can give your own name. Then this is done. Then what you have to do one more function .cs file, which is lambda function .cs file. So this will be like inherited from API gateway proxy function. Again, when you create this ASP.NET API for Lambda to Visual Studio Wizard, then you don't have to create all these files. Again, these files will be available ready-made. I'll show that as well. So Lambda function is like inherited, and initialize method is there. Only initialize method. In this, we have to say the use startup as a startup. So it will take the startup as an entry point, and then your application will be running as usual. So these are three files, like I said, and then of course you have program.cs file is always there. So you have that. Again, we are saying that that is used for just to start up to make the create host builder, which will always be there. So these are the files, like three files you have to use, and program.cs file if not there, you have to add that as well. Same way, if you want to see, I will show you how you can do the same thing in Windows Server. So this is my like Windows Server, or where I have Visual Studio. Now, if you see here, I have already installed the AWS toolkit. So I can get easily, you can install the AWS toolkit extension from extensions over here, extensions update. AWS toolkit is already there. Okay. So when you say new project, as usual, you say in .NET Visual Studio. So you will get one here, web in Visual C#, you get AWS Lambda. That also you have so many available Lambda functions available. You should select one of them is AWS serverless application. So I just say, suppose again, I will say same eShop India .api. So now .api I say, and then I say select, then it will ask me for which type of application you are going to create. So I will say ASP.NET Core Web API, since I'm going to create a web API. Now here you see, you will get all these expected like the required files ready-made available. So serverless.template is here. In this, like I said, there is a handler is very important. You should make sure that the handler name is proper. So if you create through template, of course you will get the right handler over here. Then second thing which I said you, like the URL value. So in API URL. So here also you will get, like I said, everything will be available with prod as a default production, as a default stage. There is only one stage it creates when you create the new project. Okay, then you can add multiple stages. That is my main objective, and I will show you very soon. So there is since I have created my own file, so I have given name as lambda function.cs. But here, when Visual Studio create, it gives like lambda entry point.cs. Okay, it's the same what we have there. Maybe a little bit different based on the version. So here again, I said like profile, region, whatever you have to get, you have to put over here. So like my profile is default profile. So when you create, now how you get the profile created? So the profile is getting created whenever you when you log in your AWS account, it will ask you for like here, once you install everything AWS, so you can get AWS Explorer, and here you will see the account to be added. So you can add a new account over here, and in this account you will need a profile name. You should give like eShop India profile, I'm saying. Okay, then I will say okay, select credentials. So you can select credential directly. You can put the access key and secret key, or which is available on your AWS account. That I will show you next time. But here you just import your from CSV file, or if you are well versed with AWS account creation and everything, you'll get the access key and secret key you must have with you. So you should import that, and then the profile will be created. Then while deploying the application, from here you can deploy the application directly. You get an option, publish to AWS Lambda, and which profile you have created, that profile will be available over here. So right now I have only one profile. You can get more profile as you create more profile before coming over here, but before deploying. So this is one way, but this is not available in MacBook till now. So we will go focus more on how to deploy through Visual Studio Code. So I'll just now finish this over here. I just want, my main objective was to show you that these files will be available if you create the Visual Studio Lambda function from Visual Studio template. Now, once you are done with this part, you have to just, you are ready to deploy. So once you are done with here, all these things, and then you create your own controller. Actually, Lambda function is more intended to create a single API like microservice, where you will have one service and you will get that source code also available once you deploy over here. That also I'll show you. So now, once you create that, your source code is ready as a Lambda function. Now this ASP.NET API controller becomes as it can be easily deployed on Lambda function. So second step is like you have to create certain prerequisites are there. First prerequisite is that you have to create a IAM user. So in AWS account, once you log in, you will get a IAM user available as a service, as available in services. So I have already created an user. You have to create a user. So I have already created a user. Okay. In that user, then you have to add permission. So like permissions, so I have already added the permissions also. The most important are AWS S3 full access and AWS Lambda full access. So here you can add more, like if you want to add from the like copy existing from the existing user, or add user to group, or attach existing policy directly. So you can attach from here, you can select one of them. For example, I want to add this, then you just say next review and it will ask for save. So since I have already added my required policies, I don't have to add more. Okay. So once you create this IAM user is ready, you have to create an API gateway. So API gateway, again, there are two ways to create API gateway. For example, if you don't want to create manually from here, you can, this will, when you deploy the ASP.NET from, like when you deploy from the Visual Studio, from Windows Server, Visual Studio, you will get option, like I said, deploy to AWS. Then once you deploy to AWS, it will create automatically one API gateway and attach that Lambda function to that API gateway. So my API gateway is like this, or you can create an API gateway from here also again. So you just say import HTTP API, REST API. So you should say HTTP API. Okay. Once you create the HTTP API, there are default values. You don't have to do any changes in the API's values. Okay. Once you are done. Your API is ready. So now I have one API with proxy like any method, like it is for any method. Now here you have stages, like I said, you will have only prod stage available by default. So now this is like my stage. So first way to deploy, how to deploy. Now our service is ready, our API gateway is ready, IAM user is also ready. You have IAM user, you have to create IAM user, then API gateway, then you should create like one, like you should be able to deploy the ASP.NET Core API as a Lambda function, since we have already. So let me just publish this first. So you should, since this is Mac OS, you can just directly say Mac publish to file system. So once you publish, so it's just publishing. Publishing to folders. Once you're done, then you have to install a AWS extension over here. And when you install the extension or in a Visual Studio Code, you and AWS CLI command. Once you install that, you can do Command Shift P, and you can open your credential file from here as well. When you install the AWS extension, it creates one .aws file in Windows as well as in MacBook. And there it will create like default profile. Here I have eShop India new and Azure Drive for two different accounts. I have two different clients. So for both clients, I have different access key and secret key. So this secret key and access key will be available to which will be used to connect to the Lambda function or to the that specific AWS account. So once I connect, I will get here and I can change my connection, connect to AWS. So I will say that, okay, connect to eShop India new. Now I've connected over here. So I can see here how many Lambda function I have. I have only one Lambda function available, which is default. Okay. Now I want to deploy on this. So I just say upload Lambda function, upload Lambda, and I can say directory, because I have already published my code over here. So eShop India API, I will go .api bin release. Usually it creates a release folder. In this, it will have like .NET Core 3.1 publish folder. So once I create, I can say AWS Toolkit will upload a zip of the selected directory. Say no need to build. It will just zip and upload. And they say yes, because we need to override. So now I have uploaded this function. Okay. So now we will do some changes, and we want to, for example, we want to add one more new API in this. Okay. So I will add one more API over here. And I will say suppose stage test. Okay. And I will say stage test. This is API which we don't have on production, for example. Okay. And this API we will just create and we'll just save it. Okay. Now, first, let's see what happened to this one. So now this is successfully uploaded Lambda function eShop India. Okay, on this function name. There was only one Lambda function available. Now, for example, I want to upload the same Lambda function again in a different environment since I'm working on it. So I want to do create one more stage for the same API gateway. So my API gateway is this one is my API gateway. These are my resources. In this case, like when we need to, like in any, if you click on any, you will see 4 block over here. The most important integration request. Integration request means here we are saying which Lambda function should be invoked when you browse this API gateway. So in this case, since we have like, I have created like a dynamic. If you say here, either you can put a dynamic, like I don't know, which like for each environment stage, I want to like assign a different dynamically, I need to assign this Lambda function. So either if I will give this Lambda function, it means that all the stages will be pointed to this Lambda function. But since we need to create this dynamically, so we are creating one stage variable. Stage variable is a new features available in AWS. For each stage, you can have environment variable, and based on stage, you can make the changes or you can point to different Lambda functions. So let's keep it like this. So you will get one like a warning over here saying that if you want dynamically invoke a Lambda function for the same API gateway based on your stage environment, you can add a permission to that Lambda function to invoke this Lambda. So I'll just say okay. Okay. And then what we will do, we can do either run that command or we can create like do this manually as well. So these are the, now for example, stage was there only one stage. Here, if you see, there is a invoke, like there is a one URL which was already created based on our configuration in serverless.template, if you remember. So now since I have Swagger, so it will browse that, like Swagger will show me all my APIs available on production. Okay. So I like index.html Swagger, where I have shown like my APIs available here. Okay. In inventory, for example, now in inventory, we have like how many APIs are there. This API is not yet available on production. Okay. So this is new API we have created now. Okay. This is nothing but like stage test. So we will create one Lambda function stage. Okay. eShop India stage. First of all, we will create one more stage over here, and that stage will point to different Lambda functions. So if you see in production, we are saying that the stage variable, saying that LB function, we have created one variable which will point to, like for this stage, invoke this Lambda function. So we are assuming, like we are instructing to the particular stage that which Lambda function should be invoked, even though it's a common API is common, API gateway is same, but the stages are different. Based on stages, it will decide which Lambda function should be invoked. So right now I have only one Lambda function in my account. Okay. So let's create one more stage and one more Lambda function. So let me create one stage over here. So here we will say that, okay, stage. And then we will say that this is for staging environment of choice. Choice is my, for example, client where I need to put staging environment as environment. So I'm saying that, okay, which one to deploy on this stage by default. So it will like deploy the first stage from this previous deployment, like cloning kind of thing. So I will just say create. Once it's create, now since we in the API gateway, like I said, we have said that, okay, for any stage, like there is no specific Lambda function is written here. We are saying that, okay, pick up the Lambda function for the particular stage from this variable, stage variable. So now, of course, we have said that, okay, for stage, since we do not have Lambda function, we did not put over here any Lambda function. So let's go and first create the Lambda function. We need to first create the Lambda function. So we'll go now in Lambda. Okay, and here we will create one more Lambda function. We have only one Lambda function right now. So we will just create one more Lambda function. To create, I will say, okay, which Lambda function? I'm saying that, okay, eShop India dash stage. Okay. and then I'm saying that okay, it is running on .NET Core 3.1 C Sharp. Okay. Then most important thing, like I said, we have created one IAM user. In that we must have one role which has already added that policy. So I have so many roles since I have so many services I'm using from AWS. So I will use this one, eShop India default function role, which has already permission to execute Lambda function. So I'll just say create function. So now function is created, but we need to make some changes over here. The most important change is like which handler this Lambda function should use. So the Lambda function, since we are going to deploy the same source code on this Lambda function as well, so we need to change this handler to point to the same Lambda function API code which has been deployed on this eShop India default function. So let's copy from here. Okay, I'll just copy this function handler, since we are using the same source code, but it will have the different version of the source code. So let me just put this in eShop India stage. I'll just say that okay, edit. And since this is created from here, it takes that Lambda test Lambda handler, which is created as an empty function. So I'll just assign that. Then the second thing is that you have to go in configuration and you have to make some changes over here. The most important changes is like we got the warning when we added the dynamic URL or in our resource settings here. When we, if you remember, when we create here, when we set that integration request as a stage variable, it says that add the permission to your respective Lambda function. So now we need to add that Lambda function specific permission. So the permission we need to give to this ARN, which is our API gateway ARN. So I will just put this ARN and add a new permission over here. So for permission, we have to say that grant permission to another AWS service. So I'm saying that okay, API gateway, this is my source ARN, okay, and this is my, here you have to say Lambda invoke function. These are the same attribute which we have set in our serverless template, serverless.template file. If you see in our serverless template file, okay. So these are almost same file. Like this is our eShop India Lambda function, like handler, and then this is AWS Lambda full access, okay. So now we will just put here invoke Lambda function. Then here we have to give some custom ID, okay. I'll just give custom dash 00000 1 2 3, okay. So I'll just say save. Now these are the settings which you need to add permission to that newly created Lambda function. Now this Lambda function will be available either if you are using Windows, then Visual Studio, or in Mac you will get this in VS Code, where you have already installed your AWS extension, okay. So now if you see this, now AWS will show you this Lambda function will be available. Now we have, now first of all we have to say in stages that okay, this is my we'll just go to stages. In stage, since like I said in prod, we have like in prod we have stage variable LBA function with this is my function name. So similarly in stage also, since we have created this new stage, we'll add one stage variable which is nothing but our function LBL function, then the eShop India stage, because this is our function name. You must put this proper. The name, the spelling should be 100% matching. I mean, to the case sensitive. It should be matching with your whatever function name you have given over here. eShop India stage dash stage. Okay. So this is my eShop India dash stage. Now my like Lambda function is also available, and my stage is also ready to pick up that Lambda function. Now we will put we will deploy and new like API new like source code which is having one more API stage test. Okay, so this stage test will like will be available only for staging, because we will deploy now this application on staging only. Okay, I have published. So I have published the again the solution. Now the solution has one more API which was not there in production. So I'll just now we'll just go in AWS in Visual Studio Code. Now since there was one API Lambda function, but we have created one Lambda function from AWS account. So let's refresh this account. As soon as we refresh, it shows me second Lambda function, East of India stage. We will upload this now latest code on this stage each of India stage Lambda function. So let me just say directly each of India API bin release net core publish. Okay, so now I have like this. Okay, we'll say just yes. Now it will just upload this. So successfully uploaded Lambda function, each of India stage. It is giving the name of your Lambda function. We have not deployed the same changes on this production Lambda function. Now we'll see how we'll see the changes over here. Now let's go here and we will see that on stage, we are saying that, okay, for stage, this is our URL. So we'll try to copy this and put this in our URL. We'll just copy this, okay, and invoke this URL. So I just invoke this function, okay, and then this is like my URL. So this is my URL. Now in this, if you see inventory, there is one more stage test, which will not be available in your production. In production, you don't have this stage test, because stage test is only deployed for the Lambda function, which has been assigned to stage. So now this stage is available with the latest changes. Similarly, these are the stages. So you can create one more stages over here and assign the respective Lambda function for that stage. Okay, so we can create like this. And then similarly, like this, you want to, for example, you want to deploy this for the different organizations. Like, for example, I have two clients. So one was like, then you have to do more high level changes over here. In first of all, in app setting.json, this is like not with respect to Lambda, but anywhere, if you want, you can have multiple JSON files, app settings JSON files. This is for Ajwa, for example, this is for choice. Okay, so once you in startup.cs, you are saying that, okay, for the particular environment, pick up this default JSON file, but rest of the function, like for each development, staging or production, pick up this ASP app setting.json file. If rest of them concat the app setting file and prepare the app setting.json file based on the app setting dot environment name. So env.environment name. Now this env.environment name will be picked up, but you need to set this value in your Lambda function configuration as well. So now, for example, here I have two files, right? App setting.json.ajwa.json and choice.json, and Docker also for some other purpose. So now here, even though both are like production stage, these environment variables are with respect to the which Lambda function to be picked up. But further, if you want to bifurcate more, like you want to go one level down, that I want to, for all these functions, I want to pick up which JSON file, which like configuration based on the client maybe requirement. So here you have one more provision, environment variable over here. And here I'm saying that ASP.NET, ASP.NET Core underscore environment value will be choice. So similarly, for example, right now, if you see in eShop India stage, it doesn't have any environment variable configured over here. So it will pick up, by default, it will pick up. If you invoke this method, any of the method from any API action from this API from this stage, you will get the result from the different database based on the configuration file of appsetting.json file, appsetting.json. Okay, but if you set out into a variable configuration variable, you will get the proper. It will pick up the respective like appropriate JSON file and fetch the data or connect to the whatever configuration file based on configuration. It will give the output. So let me just add one ASP.NET Core environment. So this is the file variable name you can get from here also. like in launch setting, in properties, you have like launch setting.json. Here you have ASP.NET Core environment. Okay, so I'll just put here, this is my environment variable name, and I'm saying that, okay, pick up this for choice. Okay, so it will pick up this choice as my app setting.json file, whichever name is combining, like concatenating, after concatenation of this value, whatever JSON file will be available, it will pick up that JSON file. Okay, and accordingly it will set up. So it will be no changes in this, but there will be like pick up the, based on that it will bring the data. So second thing is how to test this Lambda function. Either a Swagger is there, of course you have configured Swagger. If not, then you have provision over here also in resources. You can set the like which Lambda function you want to test. For example, I have JWT token as well here implemented, but we have some non-secured APIs as well. So I'll try to show you one of them. Okay, so test, for example, I want to test which method. So I'll say get, and then I will say value proxy, like my proxy. So my proxy value means like my API after relative path. So v1 slash, for example, I have one is like instance slash list. Okay, and then I will say param, like identifier. For example, what identifier equal to city. This is my parameter and value. Then which LBL function I want to use, like which function I want to use. So I will say suppose eShop India dash stage. This is my Lambda function name, which I have set in my stage variable as a stage variable. Then when I say test, it will give me the exact result, what will be